A Course in Miracles, Workbook Lesson 35. My mind is part of God's. I am very holy. My mind is part of God's. I am very holy. Today's idea does not describe the way you see yourself now. It does, however, describe what vision will show you. It is difficult for anyone who thinks he is in this world to believe this of himself. Yet, the reason he thinks he is in this world is because he does not believe it. You will believe that you are part of where you think you are. That is because you surround yourself with the environment you want. And you want it to protect the image of yourself that you have made. The image is part of this environment. What you see while you believe you are in it is seen through the eyes of the image. This is not vision. Images cannot see. The idea for today presents a very different view of yourself. By establishing your source, it establishes your identity, and it describes you as you must really be in truth. We will use a somewhat different kind of application for today's idea because the emphasis for today is on the perceiver rather than on what he perceives. For each of the 3 5-minute practice periods today, begin by repeating today's idea to yourself, and then close your eyes and search your mind for the various kinds of descriptive terms in which you see yourself. Include all the ego-based attributes which you ascribe to yourself, positive or negative, desirable or undesirable, grandiose or debased. All of them are equally unreal because you do not look upon yourself through the eyes of holiness. In the earlier part of the mind-searching period, you will probably emphasize what you consider to be the more negative aspects of your perception of yourself. Toward the latter part of the exercise period, however, more self-inflating descriptive terms may well cross your mind. Try to recognize that the direction of your fantasies about yourself does not matter. Illusions have no direction in reality. They are merely not true. A suitable unselected list for applying the idea for today might be as follows. I see myself as imposed on. I see myself as depressed. I see myself as failing. I see myself as endangered. I see myself as helpless. I see myself as victorious. I see myself as losing out. I see myself as charitable. I see myself as virtuous. You should not think of these terms in an abstract way. They will occur to you as various situations, personalities, and events in which you figure cross your mind. Pick up any specific situation that occurs to you. Identify the descriptive term or terms you feel are applicable to your reactions to that situation, and use them in applying today's idea. After you have named each one, add, "But my mind is part of God's. I am very holy." During the longer exercise periods, there will probably be intervals in which nothing specific occurs to you. Do not strain to think up specific things to fill the interval, but merely relax and repeat today's idea slowly until something occurs to you. Although nothing that does occur should be omitted from the exercises, nothing should be dug out with effort. Neither force nor discrimination should be used. As often as possible during the day, pick up a specific attribute or attributes you are ascribing to yourself at the time and apply the idea for today to them, adding the idea in the form stated above to each of them. If nothing particular occurs to you, merely repeat the idea to yourself with eyes closed. Commentary time. I'm Hillary Hawkins, and you're listening to A Course in Miracles, Workbook Lesson 35. My mind is part of God's. I am very holy. So I just meditated on that with eyes closed, and as always, it's a peaceful meditation. I must say that by the grace of God, I was able, for the most part, to really simply hone in on my mind is part of God's. I am very holy. There were only one or two instances where my mind drifted to other situations, as the exercise told us would happen, but it only happened a couple times. I flashed back to a situation where there's someone who I really, really care about, who I look up to like a big sister. And I was like thinking to myself, man, like, and this maybe is the negative side of things. Sometimes we don't always see ourselves in a very positive light. I was like, man, I was just so weak around her. Like, because I was relying on her so heavily. I should have been relying on God all along. That's what I should have been doing. But, we each have our own journey of growth and development. And at least I've gotten to the point now where I can rely on God, but then I had to combat that idea. And I said, I am not weak. I am strong. I am strengthened. And now I'm saying I am strengthened because I can do all things through God, through Christ who strengthens me. And so can you. So then I started using the affirmation, I am strong. I am strong. And then I went back to, I am very holy. My mind is part of God's. I am very holy. And as I repeated that more and more to myself, it occurred to me, yes, we are made in the image and likeness of God. And God is holy, so we are holy. If we are holy, then it makes perfect sense that our minds are holy. And then also, God created us. We are God's creation. God is holy, so it just makes sense that whatever God would create is holy, right? And then I started thinking wow, this is kind of Matrix-like in that maybe I am not who people think I am, or even who I might at this point in my development think I am. I am actually not this physical being that is talking to you right now. I am something above that and higher than that. And I am simply using this body to communicate with you. But I am not my body. I am spirit. And I am made in the image and likeness of God. And infinite intelligence. I feel like God is in all of us. So we are all individualized centers. We all can think into the infinite mind, right? Am I getting too deep? I've been studying metaphysics for quite some time, and I had paused for a while, and I'm sure my friends could notice, because I'm a lot more grounded. I'm a lot more spiritually grounded when I stay up on these metaphysical self-development audiobooks. And then when I took a hiatus, I definitely was not as spiritually grounded. And, but thankfully I'm back on track. I've been narrating Ernest Holmes again. And if you want to hear some of the Ernest Holmes audiobooks that I have already completed, you can go to www.hillaryhawkins.com/audiobooks. And I would recommend scrolling down to the one called Creative Mind, and also Creative Mind and Success. And you will understand more deeply the principles that I believe A Course in Miracles Workbook Lesson 35 is trying to introduce. It's very cool stuff. Very, very cool stuff. So, I'm very chill right now. I'm very just, this is probably the most serious I've been in all episodes. I'll call it an episode because, I've been talking to you guys every day, right? And I think it's because this is serious, holy stuff, and I think we can have fun with holiness as well. But right now I'm holy, 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 spiritual, holy, calm, holy, peaceful, holy, Loving holy, relaxing holy, holy, holy. What other words come to mind when you think of the word holy? I am holy, I am holy, I am holy. Just repeat that to yourself several times. Meditate on that. My mind is part of God's. I am very holy. My mind is part of God's. I am very holy. My mind is part of God's. I am very holy. How empowering it can be when we can really, when it's not just lip service, like when we're not just saying it, but when we actually can believe it. Wow, like it is written in the Bible, it is done unto you as you believe. And the body is the temple of God. So, yeah, that's really all I have to say on it at this time. I am very intrigued by this lesson. It definitely is different than the prior ones. And so I am looking forward to where we are going with all this. I feel an awakening on the horizon, an awakening for you, an awakening for me, awakening for us. I'm Hillary Hawkins, and always remember to love.